Hello, everyone. My name is Stephen Murray, and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of The Gift of Giving. For those of you tuning in for the first time, this program features non-profits 501c3s based right here in the state of Nevada. Today, I'd like to welcome a very special guest. She's the CEO of the World Dyslexia Foundation. Welcome, Shirley Muchigrosso. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure, and thanks for what you do for our community. So, first of all, would you like to give us a brief overview of the World Dyslexia Foundation and when it was founded?
So it was founded in 2023. And what we do is we teach teachers how to assess and teach children, teenagers, adults with dyslexia how to read, write, and spell and do math.
Okay. Noble goals there, very noble goals. Now, what made you get involved with the World Dyslexia Foundation? You're the CEO. How did you come to be part of it?
So what happened is I met a lady 3 years ago in 2023, actually. And through my job, and she, as we were talking and I was interviewing her, she said, "Do you know that you're dyslexic?" I said, "Really?" Well, what is dyslexia?" And she said, she explained briefly what it was. And she said, "I could assess you and I could put you through my training." I said, "Okay, that sounds interesting. Let's do that." I always knew that growing up and as a child that I had what school said is a learning disability. And I knew something was wrong and I knew that I couldn't fix it all my life. And also, too, I have three children that are now adults, but also, too, they had the same symptoms where I had the best tutors in town. I hired professors, I hired, it's been thousands and thousands on tutors for them.
Uh-huh.
Nothing got through to them. And the teachers would say, "Well, they're not trying hard enough. They're some of them even said they're being lazy, and I knew that that wasn't true because I wanted to learn. When I was their age, I wanted to learn. I wanted to be like the other kids. I wanted to understand what it was to actually be able to read and write the same way that the other children were able to and comprehend everything that was being taught, but it would not register. And I knew my children, when they were in school, were going through the same thing. And I knew it wasn't because they were lazy or I knew they were trying as well. And with tutors and everything that I gave them, I didn't have the opportunities that they had because I didn't have the parental support. My children had me. Um, their father passed away, so they only had me, but I understood them. So um, when this lady told me about dyslexia, and when I did get the testing, um, I actually went through the 5 stages of grief because I was frustrated. I I was so upset. I was so upset that I felt like I was failed. The school system failed me and my children. We weren't explained that we had dyslexia. I never even heard of dyslexia. I had IEPs for my children. I've had, I tried everything. Nothing had worked. And so when this lady did the actual um, program with me, my mind just exploded. I said, "Oh my goodness, this is it. Everybody has, this is what Nobody's told me all these years what I went through, all the suffering, all the pain, the depression, the anxiety that, a child gets by not being able to do the same things that their peers are able to do in school. So and my children's suffering as well. It hurts.
Sure.
So I, decided to get
Get
involved
involved. There you go.
yes.
Well, good for you. And now you mentioned that part of your program was you you're training teachers. And is there some kind of program that you have? And the lady that started with you, is there a program that you have or a workshop where you can actually train the teachers? And how long does that go on for?
Okay, so what happens is, so the teacher has this program that she's been developing since 1972, long before I was born. And she's also dyslexic, and her daughter is also dyslexic. So it was her mission to build this program.
Okay.
And she did a lot of training to perfect this program, which is incredible. And so the teacher did it for 47 years for profit. And now, when I got involved, and I sold my house, and I said, I'm going to turn this into a nonprofit because every child deserves to have this program. Education should not be a privilege, it should be a right.
Okay. But then who is the program geared at? Is it geared at the child, or is it geared for the teacher to teach the child?
No, so the best way for us to do it is to actually teach the teachers.
Okay.
That's going to be the fastest way for us to spread this program,
Okay.
is to train the teachers. So we have 3 teachers that are ready to start teaching. The teachers, we're gonna hire teachers first to be the teachers that are going to be training other teachers. So once we hire those teachers and they're properly trained, then go they will be going out and training all the other teachers.
Okay. And do you plan on starting that here in Clark County? Will you be dealing with having these 3 teachers reach out to Clark County School District and see if you can set up programs where you can teach multiple teachers at one time?
Well, I have spoken to schools, different schools. I've spoken to charter schools, which are ready for the program, for the teachers to be taught. I've talked to private schools who are also ready for the program. I've talked to schools from Native Americans, because one of our board members is Native. And so a lot of people are completely interested, because 1 out of 5 people are dyslexic and they have no idea.
Yes, I saw on your website it says that 8% of the people are undiagnosed, which is a scary number.
It is a scary number.
Okay, at this point we're going to take a brief sponsorship break. Please stay with us, folks. We're going to be right back with Shirley Mucci-Grosso and learn more about the World Dyslexia Foundation. Please stay with us.
Tariffs, pandemics, rising inflation. The Joshua Dowden team is ready when volatility happens. Markets fluctuate for reasons nobody can control. Don't let the headlines drive your financial plan. The Joshua Dowden team at Priority Wealth Partners has served Summerlin retirees for 3 decades. Our 5-tier risk management strategy matches our strategies with your goals, with plans designed for your assets to be there when you need them. Conveniently located at the heart of downtown Summerlin. Call Joshua Dowden today or visit DowdenFinancialServices.com.
Welcome back, everyone, and I'd like to welcome back our special guest today, Shirley Mucci-Grosso from the World Dyslexia Foundation. And thanks again, Shirley, for coming in today and for what you're doing for those with dyslexia. You're doing an important job there and giving back to our community. I'd I'd like to talk a little bit about this dyslexia. You have an assessment program that is part of what you have in the foundation. And the idea is that you're going to be training teachers to give these assessment tests to children that could possibly have dyslexia. Would you care to elaborate a little bit on that assessment program
Sure.
and what's involved in it and how long it takes?
So the assessment program is 3 days long. And the reason why is because not all dyslexics are the same. There's different forms of dyslexics. Everybody's different. So some have strengths in other places, some have weaknesses in other places. So what the assessment does, it learns where your dyslexia is. So that way we could create the program properly for you. We just don't give you the entire program if you don't need the entire program, because you might be a genius at math, and or you might be great at reading but you can't spell. So it's different. It's different forms of dyslexia. And so the assessment program, the assessment does is it makes sure where you're at, and it tailors it to your needs.
Gotcha. So when you say it's a 3-day program,
Mhm.
not all the people are going to have to take the 3 days. Am I getting it correct? Because if you find out that they're exceptional in math, to use your example,
Mhm.
they're not going to follow the math path, right? You've already established that assessment that they're a genius and they don't need help in that area.
Right.
And so you would move on to the next
Well,
time.
it's actually it is the 3 days because it is pretty intense. It's very detailed. So we don't just ask a few questions. We actually make you do things. So we put you through how to how much information you might know. Okay, so we'll put you through explaining. Uh, can you write your, depending on your age too as well, right? Because if you're a child, then a child gets assessed a different way than an adult. Um, and so if you're a child, we ask you uh, to write on a piece of paper. Can you write your name, your full name, today's date? Can you write your address? Can you write your phone number? So we don't expect you to do that, as a child. As an adult, we kind of do expect you to do that because adults usually do. But dyslexic adults sometimes don't, and it's not because, something is wrong with them. It's just they weren't taught properly. So that's why the assessment it's so intense in taking 3 days to really get to the point of knowing exactly where your dyslexia is at.
Okay. So, and that makes sense. So you have them write, you also have them, as I think we were talking during the break, that you have math tests and reading as well. So do you put
Yes.
them through, are they given a book to read, or
Yes. So
depending on the age, could it be a comic book or a
yes,
classic book? Or
depending on the age, and that doesn't matter for adults because some adults even read at a third grade level. So, most adults that are dyslexic and have not received actual help will read at a fourth grade level. And so we do set you up with different levels of reading and see if you're reading properly. So if you're actually following what you're actually reading, or if you're skipping words, because when you're dyslexic, what your brain does, it um, loses focus when it doesn't understand, when you are reading and you're reading a sentence, for instance, and you don't understand a word and you're dyslexic, you will skip that word.
Uh-huh.
You do skipping, and it's called you're getting triggered. Your mind gets triggered because if your mind is not understanding something, it kind of freaks out. It
Uh-huh.
kind of says like, hey, what do I do now? So you skip that word. And those are things that we notice, that skipping words, skipping lines, guessing, word guessing. So it's a lot. It's very, very, very detailed.
Okay. Now, what about you mentioned that we've talked about the reading and the writing. You said you asked them to write phone numbers and the name and address and what have you. Now, is that another thing that, depending on the age, you ask them to do more serious stuff, for want of a better word, or is it the same questions for a 6-year-old as it might be for a 15-year-old? They both asked to write the same things in the assessment test. Do you know?
Well, actually, we do normally start with just the basics,
Mm-hmm.
and then from there we get an idea where you're mostly at.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you start with those fundamentals.
Right, because
Yeah.
while you're writing your name, you might spell your name backwards.
Mm-hmm.
You turn letters around.
Yes.
A B is actually a D. So so we notice everything that is going on in
Okay.
your brain. Yes.
So we've dealt with the reading and the writing. Now you also said one of the things that individuals with dyslexia grapple with is maths as well. Do you have like maths tests in it that they've got to add numbers together or something like that?
Yes. So we do that with math as well. We see we have you write out your numbers, see if you know your numbers, see if you're also turning numbers around.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people that are dyslexic and actually will say 46, and it really wasn't 46. It's 64.
Uh-huh.
So they turn numbers around like that. That's one way of actually knowing that you're doing that. And so, yeah, with math, we do have you at different levels, and sometimes we have to just actually even teach you the numbers. I'm sorry, So
now, when you say sometimes they'll switch a number backwards, do they sometimes do it upside down? Like, could it be a 46 or a 66 and they write it as 99?
They can do that.
So it's not just backwards, it can be upside down as well.
There's actual dyslexics that could mirror read. So it's like you put a mirror and you mirror right.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
It's very complex. Very complex.
But
it's taken her since 1972 to fix this.
But
But
it sounds like she's got something that's working.
Something that it's more than working. I mean, like I said, when I took the program, it changed my world. And
Wow.
and I sold my house.
Yes.
Right now I'm not married. I don't have children. I had my house paid off. I could have just lived life and retired and done something. But instead, I believe that, uh, you know, this is my calling. This is
Well,
what I was meant to do.
sometimes life throws us those codes that we hadn't planned on.
Yes.
So, but I'm glad you found that the program worked for you. And on that positive note, we're going to take another sponsorship break. Please stay with us, folks. We're going to be right back.
Introducing Pacific Coast Capital, your partner in finance. We provide financing for your business. Speed, flexibility, and creativity are the foundation of our service. We'll help you navigate through change and opportunities. Our 90-plus years of experience ensures quick turnaround on loan decisions. Ride the wave to prosperity with us. Ready for new funding? Visit our website today at pacificcoastcap.com.
Welcome back, everyone. And I'd like to welcome back our special guest today, Shirley Mucci-Grosso from the World Dyslexia Foundation. And again, thanks for what you're doing. In this segment, we mentioned at the outset of the program that you're going to be training teachers to go out and do these assessment tests with the children. And from what I gathered from your website, it's a fairly intensive training program that the teachers are going to have to go on. So would you care to elaborate for anybody that's out there that might be interested in becoming a teacher of your program? Would you like to give us some specifics about what's involved and in the program?
So the program to teach the teachers, it's about 3 weeks. And we give them all the information, the manuals, we give them all the information, and we train them. We train them how to do the assessment part. We train them do the assessment for, children and adults. And then after that, we train them, to teach how to start the teaching in the level that the individual needs their help in.
Okay. And when they finish these assessment programs, as you said, there's different levels. They come back, what's low, medium, or high? Is that how the levels come back of these kids that have got
Well,
dyslexia?
it's not more of a like low, medium, or high. It's just different.
Okay.
So, all dyslexics are different. So we all have our superpowers somewhere, and we all have our weaknesses somewhere. So, it's there. It's not based on low, medium, or high.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in this training program, part of it is the assessment, but then there's ongoing tutoring support, and you've got structured literacy methods and math strategies. Would you care to elaborate a little bit on those?
So yes, so we will also teach the teachers how to tutor, right? Because on the tutoring, basically what it is going over the program so it stays in your head, because what happens with dyslexia is it's on the left hemisphere of your brain, and it's neural branches that are not working properly. So what we do is we use other parts of your brain to retain that information. That's what we do in the program. So that's what we teach the teachers to teach. And so we teach the teachers we teach the students that they hold the information they're supposed to be holding in other parts, like their auditory and their visual and their muscle memory, which are different parts of our brains.
Okay. Boy, sounds like that's quite a job that these teachers are going to have, but I'm sure it's going to be an interesting and
It's
fascinating
very
one.
rewarding.
Very rewarding.
Very rewarding.
Yes. Yeah.
We are teaching the future of the world.
Yes.
You know, the future presidents, the future congressmen, you know, the future. So we have to, us dyslexics, we do not learn the traditional way. We have our own unique way of learning, and we have that program now. That's why it's so important for me and for the teacher. It was so important. She devoted her life for this,
Yes.
you know, and into this. And for me, I've devoted all my financial resources.
Now,
So-
is the lady that founded this program, is she still here helping at all? Or?
Yes, she's here. She's going to be doing the overview over all the teaching of the program, making sure that the teachers that are going to be our actual employees that are going to be teaching the other teachers.
Okay.
She's going to be making sure that they're trained properly in her way. But we also want to integrate a lot of, you know, there's so much technology now.
Yes.
And with the technology, you know, we could turn this program with the right people into something like a Hooked on Phonics.
Yes.
You know, I don't know if some people haven't heard of Hooked on Phonics. You know, research it on the internet. You know, it was a program that would teach you how to read, but it didn't teach anybody who was dyslexic or in the spectrum, you know, either with Down syndrome or autism.
Yes.
You know, but our program is amazing. And I want to personally reach out to these, you know, individuals like Elon Musk, like Jeff Bezos, you know, or Bill Gates, who's also dyslexic, and have them help us to turn this program into something more incredible than it already is.
Well, that segues nicely into my next question, because I was going to ask how you get funding.
Yeah.
And you already alluded to the fact you sold your house to help get this program off the ground.
Yes.
But do you get anything from any corporations or casinos or anything?
So we will be asking for donations from casinos. Casinos are great in they always donate for education. There are some casinos that I'm not going to mention names until we get permissions, that we have actually, well, the program has actually helped taught their children that had dyslexia, and these kids did well and went on to college and continued with the tutoring, and you know, and it helped them tremendously. So we will reach out to those individuals. They don't know yet that we are a nonprofit, and that's why we're here, because you're introducing us. And but we will be asking the casinos. We will be asking our sports teams. You know, we're going to be asking the Raiders, the Golden Knights, the Aces. You know, we have tons of athletes, tons of famous individuals that are dyslexic. We have, you know, so many people that have invented so many things that out there uh, that are dyslexic, you know.
Yes.
And so we'll be reaching out to them. We'll be reaching out to whoever. We have every stone. We won't leave it unturned, because we have to make this happen. We have to change this. We have to get this program out. It's crucial. It's important for this program to be out. It will help with these kids with depression. It's depressing to be a child and not know how to read and write. You know, for an adult not to know how to read and write.
Well, again, once on your website, it says 80% of the people are undiagnosed, and that's scary in and of
correct.
itself. But you do have a slew of famous people on your website, and
Yes.
politics and entertainment and sports and
Yes.
business, all kinds of categories that
Yes,
have
please
dyslexia.
visit our website. We have a list of famous dyslexics.
Well, at this point in time, I'm going to ask you if you care to give out your contact information. Please give out your website information so people can go and check you out. And
So we are worlddyslexiafoundation.info or worlddyslexiafoundation.org. It's both linked. We own both of those domains. So please visit us there, reach out to us, please donate, please help the future of this world succeed.
perfect. Shirley, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for coming on and sharing with us your program about helping individuals who are living with dyslexia.
Thank
And
you.
wish you every success with your program.
Thank
I
you.
hope you manage to get it out there throughout the world, help out all these people that need it.
Absolutely. So many people need it.
I
It's
know.
millions, billions of people that need it. So, and we're also too, we're not just going to have it here in Las Vegas. We are going to be having it all throughout United States, training as many teachers as possible. So we need all the donations that we can get because we're not only doing Nevada, we are going to go to every state and possibly worldwide.
There you go. Think big.
Absolutely.
Not just going to go throughout the United
I'm
States. Take it
dyslexic.
worldwide.
That's what we do.
There you
That's
go.
what we do best. We think out of the box.
There you go. Thanks again for being on the program.
Thank you
And
for having us.
I'd like to thank John Stiles, the show's producer and station owner, for allowing us to have this program. And I'd specifically like to thank our sponsors of this program, Priority Wealth Partners, Pacific Coast Capital, the Firelight Barn Dinner Theatre, and my late business partner, Ralph John Champion, whose legacy lives on through this program and whose message you'll hear right at the end. Finally, I'd like to thank you, the viewer, for tuning in. I hope you found this very informative. And certainly if you know anybody who potentially has dyslexia or has dyslexia, please share this interview with them. And if you're interested in volunteering, they can certainly use some volunteers and donations. So please visit their website and check them out. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out to me, Stephen at thegiftofgiving.vegas. I hope you'll join us again next week. In the meantime, be safe, please be kind to one another, and see you back soon. Bye for now.
Mr. R.J. Champion is proud to sponsor WWDB-TV's series, The Gift of Giving, and wishes the program much success. Congratulations and gratitude to the featured guests and the organizations they represent. Our community is well served by your tireless efforts to make Nevada a better state for all its residents.